Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And I've got insulation above my head because I shouldn't tilt the screen just correctly. We'll get that ugly stuff out of the picture because the concrete walls being bare look so much more professional. You just don't want to throw too much color in there. That yellow just kind of makes things pop a little too grandiose. We want to, keep it humble. We are live tonight, delving once more into the world of crowdfunded comics. And tonight we have one that is just about wrapping up here and getting ready to deliver. So if you want to get in on this one, there's no time like tonight. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ben Fuselier, Mr. Fusebox, who is the creator of Outlaw Nights. How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm doing great.
So this thing got backed in a hurry, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What was your original goal on this one? Because once it hits, it doesn't say.
The original goal was around 6,500.
Well, you made it. You're at 1,000, almost 1,000 over it. 137 backers. That's awesome, man.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without YouTubers like you guys.
And this is your second campaign. Was your first one another Outlaw Nights chapter, or?
It was the same campaign. It was just that was my first time launching a crowdfunding of any kind, and I really wasn't getting out there promoting it enough. I think that first time around, I was mostly relying on things like Twitter for advertisement and stuff like that. And yeah, it didn't work out that well.
That's like, the first book that we published under the Critical Blast umbrella was like, I'm going to put it out on Twitter and then it'll be on Amazon, which means, millions of people can see it. So they'll just buy it.
Exactly.
It didn't work that way, man.
Yeah.
So you've been learning along with the rest of us how this whole crowdfunding thing goes, because it's still the Wild West out there. I mean, I know people have been crowdfunding comics for 6 years or more now.
Yeah.
Because I got some of the early Kickstarter ones, but it really hasn't taken off until 2017 when just about everybody got into it.
Yep.
When did you want to write your comic? How long has this been sitting in your head?
Oh, God. Well, it didn't start off as a comic idea. I've actually been playing around with this idea for almost, I want to say, 10 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I was tossing it around in my mind. At first, originally, I wanted it to be a movie. But I was a lot younger when I was, thinking about that. I kept thinking in terms of like, oh yeah, this will be some big budget blockbuster that I'll write someday, kind of thing. And a few years ago, it was, when the indie comics was taking off, like you were saying, I was one of those people who was taking notice. And I, thinking about it, I thought like, well, I'd like to write a comic. And, after tossing that around for a while, I was like, well, why am I trying to think of a new idea for a comic when I've already got an idea that I've been playing with? So I decided to just rework Outlaw Nights a bit, and I found that it actually works best as a comic.
A lot of things that we see as movies actually will work best as comics because you don't have to get the budget out. You don't have to worry about all that filler scene. You just cut from one place to the next. So what's going on here? I'm seeing Earth City in the background, and then I'm seeing spaceships. I'm seeing New Orleans. No, that's just you.
Yeah. Yeah, New Orleans is not a part of the Outlaw Nights story.
Cajuns in space, man. I could dig that. We're in orbit around the planet Kunas. Oh man, so what is going on here? Outlaw Nights. First of all, I guess where's that title coming from? Because it's kind of like it gives a Miami Vice kind of feel to it. These are Outlaw Nights.
Yeah, really, that was kind of I was just thinking in terms of like, I knew that ultimately, like with this genre, I wanted to play around with the concept of pirates in the future. And I was really, when you think about, what would a futuristic pirate kind of be like? It really was kind of like a heist movie in many ways. So I'm sort of blending, I guess, different types of genre of like, this romanticizing of outlaws and stuff. And so that's kind of, that's pretty much what I was going for with the title. And also, I really wanted the idea is that they always operate mostly in an eternal night almost, since they're in space.
True. Yeah, there's no sunlight in space. It's weird. I've kind of always wondered about that. It's like, if you're between the Earth and the sun, shouldn't it be like daylight? But it's not. It's only daylight on Earth. I'm sure there's some atmospheric refraction thing going on that's just way above my head to process. But yeah, I always thought it should be daylight on the daylight side of Earth. So you got a video on here, and that's getting to be a rather important part of everybody's campaigns. So,
absolutely.
So we're going to play it and see what you got going on in here before we dig deeper into the show.
Amen.
All right, well, you got some solid art in there, I'll tell you that.
Oh, God, yeah. Our team is, like, I couldn't have asked for a better team.
Now, this is something you wrote, and when you decided to do as a comic, did you have any preconceptions about how much this was going to cost you to hire an artist, or did you have a friend who was, like, a really good artist that you could, like, team up with?
Well, I think, when I first started off, I was kind of naive about all that. I didn't quite know how to go about it. And, when I started learning more about, how you pay your artists and such.
With money. I like that.
Yeah. And so I just decided to, kind of play it safe. So instead of planning to pay all at one time before or afterwards, we ended up settling on, like, we're just going on per page. Just each time I get a page or whatever, I'll have the money ready for that.
Oh, and he's disconnected. Apparently he gave all the money to the artists and none to his internet company. We will wait, of course, for him to come back. But while we're waiting, we will take a look at some of the. Oh, and here he is back. We thought you sent all your money to your artists and none to your internet company.
Exactly. That's the sacrifice.
Yes. You gotta take money to make money. But yeah, page rates are a surprise to some people, I think. And that's one of the things I try to emphasize to backers that come watch the show is that, hey, when the creator is the writer on the team and not the full, not the full package, not the guy doing the art, it reflects usually in the goal. Like yours was 6,500. I mean,
Yep.
you're probably in the hole $6,000 already, and you're just trying to dig out of it.
Well, it was that we had already I'd already started like paying my artist out of pocket to do some artwork already.
Yeah, you have to up front.
And the whole thing was and basically I ended up having to shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Paying your artist up front. Page by page.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and basically when it came time to launch the campaign, originally, like when I finally figured out like what we were gonna need to do a full 50-page book, I was gonna have to make the goal like somewhere around 14K, and so I ended up having to cut the book in half in order to make it plausible.
Yeah, because especially I mean, I don't know what your artist page rates were, and please don't tell me because for some reason, that's touchy with people.
Yeah, that's it's kind of crass, I guess.
But I do know that there are people who do advertise their page rates because that's how you get hired as an artist. You say, "Here's my work, and I charge this much per page." I'm like, that seems a pretty open market kind of concept. There's a lot of people coming out of Argentina and other places in South America that have got really good page rates and do really good art. A lot of them are breaking out into Comicsgate and crowdfunding, whatever side of the camp they fall onto. So this one's not going to be 50 pages. This is going to be 25, unless you hit 10K tonight. Which would be great. I would love for that to happen for you, man. Now this says it's shipped in March 2021, so that's why we get you here in the middle of February, because it looks like you're just getting ready to go out of in demand.
Well, we've actually hit a couple of delays thanks to COVID, so I ended up having to update everybody that our wrap-up date is going to most likely be around the end of April.
Well, that's not a horrible pushback, though.
Yeah, but we may need to push it back once more, depending. I'm doing my best to make sure we don't have to, but
always be liberal when you're pushing it back. Push it back more than you need, and then deliver early. Okay. We may not get this done until 2022, guys. Hey, it's March. We're done. Surprise.
Well, that was like what I initially did with the campaign. I thought I was giving us like a lot of breathing room in case there were issues, but apparently not.
Well, yeah, but you probably figured for normal issues, not worldwide catastrophe. This is it's like just, I'm printing in Texas and Bruce Willis is blowing up the asteroid.
It's just my luck, I go into self-publishing and the world goes into a pandemic, It
happened to all of us. Yeah, it sucked for everybody. So I could share the screen back here. I'm scrolling up and down it like I'm showing everybody here what I'm looking at. Because I took it off the screen when the video was over, so I'd get a nice clean cutaway, and I never put it back. So this cover is really nice. I like the line work. I also like the fact that this is set in the future, but the clothing, I mean, other than a cybernetic arm, the clothing looks like it could pass for today's street clothes for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, you don't
have that Carmine Infantino 25th century high-pointed collar stuff going on here.
Yeah, I've always... in the sci-fi genre, I've always just kind of had an issue with the way, I don't like those futuristic onesies and and all that jazz. I like, it's like I like there are aspects of modern day clothing and stuff, and aesthetics that I really love, and would just look really cool in kind of a space setting.
Wouldn't it be cool if, we just cycle back fashion to like early Victorian in the 25th century? We're like flying around in spaceships with our pinafores and our spats.
I'm sure something's going to come back.
Yeah, they say it goes in cycles anyway. So
bring back the 90s.
I think I could do without the 90s. Actually, I wasn't so hot in the 90s. 80s were great for me, but I was in high school. So let's take a look at these tiers here, man. We got a 25-page story, and you can get with the featured tier. You get the ON. Oh, that's Outlaw Night. You're abbreviating stuff on me here. Okay, so Genesis of a Renegade. Outlaw Nights, Genesis of a Renegade, the 25-page book, and you get the cover poster, which is 11 by 17, which seems to be the standard size people go for. Yeah, very nicely done. 30-page. What's your shipping domestic?
Domestic, I think our shipping is about 8.
That's good. That's good. So most people do about 10. So I figured it was in that ballpark.
Oh wait, well, I think it is 10 actually. Shoot, because it has been a hot minute.
Well, yeah, and especially since you put the campaign up last year, and 3 weeks ago the post office raised their rates.
Oh god,
they did. I know this because the one thing that I do with crowdfunded comics, since I can't write or draw them, I can write them. I don't have an artist. I write books all the time, so it's not a problem writing a comic. But I finally got involved with you guys by taking care of shipping with all the UK folk, because if you've ever looked at a overseas crowdfunded thing, the shipping is like
oh yeah,
firstborn child and name in blood on a contract.
Yep.
But now we've got people who are working with us with our logistics arm. They're drop shipping their entire print run to us, and then they just pay for that, and then we divvy it up and we ship it out from here domestic to the U.S. people, and we give them all the estimates up front. They get their shipping back down to $8 to $10 on the U.S. side, and that's going to be a game changer for the overseas folks. We hope. We'll see how it actually plays out when we have our hands on books.
God, that'd be awesome.
I think it will be. Will be for me. I'm gonna be my business. I'll make some money, hopefully.
Oh yeah, it's just like I know how many of the overseas folks have been having issues with that, because I know our overseas shipping is high too, but
yeah, and there's nothing I can do.
We had no choice.
I can only take care of what comes into the country. Going out is going to cost whatever it costs, unless somebody wants to say, hey, how do you do it? And I'll be glad to show them the whole business plan. They can set it up in the UK, and then we can drop ship there, make it all kinds of cheaper. If you just want the comic book and not the poster, which 91 people are going for that one, so that seems to be the most popular one. $25. Fairly standard for what you're going to see on a crowdfunded issue.
Yes, indeed.
2 of them for $50. No discounts for bulk, but you get and actually you do get a discount, because I bet you're still paying just $10 shipping. So
and also with all of the perks beyond just the $25 tier, you get the 10-page digital preview, which is being wrapped up very soon.
Cool. Now, how many pages? Speaking of wrapped up very soon, how many pages of the actual novel do you have done?
We are over halfway complete. We have got about 12 or 13 pages fully finished.
Okay. So you got a good rate, page rate,
yeah.
Speed wise, I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, I love that. I'm stopping here just because this captivating panel here. This is.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorites.
The perspective on that is just fantastic. I mean, that it's open space above it, and then you can still get that vanishing point. Most people just cover that up with ceiling tiles or whatever. That's just really cool. Is that a interior splash page, or is that an alternate cover or something.
Oh no, that's an interior page.
Wow, that's just gorgeous.
All of these pages you see, except some of these pages though aren't going to be in this issue because they had to get pushed into the next issue.
Yeah, because you were working on it. So what's he doing? Just like doing a page here and there, out of order?
Well, we started out of order, actually. Like, yeah, because the whole thing was when we were thinking about the campaign itself, we were thinking like, let's do some of the
Let's show
some of these awesome pages as our advertising, and then we'll kind of go backwards from there.
I got you. Kind of like how a movie, shoots all the really good scenes for the trailer first, and then they can finish doing the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's going to be the first of a 6-issue series arc. So I guess you were planning on 3 50-page graphic novels before?
Well, no, like it's probably going to be more than 6 issues now. It's probably going to be somewhere around like 7 or 8.
And it's going to be for audiences 17 and up. So it's going to have some language in it. Mature violence, that means somebody's going to get their head cut off somewhere. Be some blood.
Oh, there's definitely going to be blood.
Blood in great quantities.
Definitely.
I always end up quoting you're Alan Moore there.
You're pretty much coming up on it right now on that page.
And there it is. I just happening further. So this is not a good guy, I'm guessing, or this is just a bad guy who really deserves it.
That is the villain of issue number 1.
The guy with the sword?
Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. He is actually the villain of he's actually going to be one of the major villains of this whole arc. My bad.
And he's also a pirate, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's Taurus.
So
yep.
So what is what's the elevator pitch here? We've kind of buried the lead on that one. As far as what's the story that's going on here. I mean, I know there's Cyrus, I know there's Ivory. I don't know how they run into each other or why they run into each other.
Well, this first issue starts us off in the 31st century. Humanity has begun colonizing into outer space. The nations of Earth are all at each other's throats, competing over territory and resources like crazy. It's, again, like the trailer was saying, it's almost like the rebirth of Manifest Destiny. It's, nationalism is once again a big thing.
You can get there first.
And so as a result, you've got all these tensions going on between the mainland, which is Earth, and the outlands, which are, all the territories. And in the midst of all this, you've also got this boom in organized crime and piracy as a result. And so in the midst of all this, our lead character, Cyrus, is basically, he's had a very traumatic upbringing, and he's now settled on a remote colony called Therese. And it's basically, it's strategically worthless, and it's a place of almost no significance. And that's kind of what he wanted when he moved there, He just wanted to get away from it all and be kind of a small town hero, I guess. So he joined the colonial militia.
So he's kind of right there.
Yeah, but I mean, that basically with it, I can tell you that very quickly within the first issue, his dreams are ripped from under him because the pirates of the ship, the crew known as Hazard, are invading the settlement looking for a special data chip. And that's going to lead to a treasure which is going to turn the entire century on its head.
Pirates and treasure. Now you're talking, because pirates who just raid other ships, yeah, it's just pirates. But when there's a hidden treasure, now you've got a mystery to solve, and a map to follow, and clues, and traps and stuff. That sets up a lot of expectation. And the tried and true tropes, I guess, but that's what makes them successful stories.
Amen.
So what did I miss down here? Because I scrolled back up after okay, so three for 70. Okay, now, and you get the digital preview. So this is definitely a way to, this is sort of like a retailer tier here. You get 3 copies. You save on the shipping by bundling it together, and you get a $30 discount or $5 discount. 30 and 5 is a big difference there. Okay, so the tiers are real easy here. Buy 1, buy 2, buy 3, or buy 4. I figured it out. I broke the code.
I kept it super simple because, you know, like my whole thing when I was first launching this was I was noticing other campaigns I was seeing that were super delayed. They were promising like so many things with each tier.
Yeah.
And I know just from like what little I've been experiencing now, like it's like, you know, the more stuff you promise, it's like the more opportunities there are for delays and for complications. And
I know. I mean, you could have the book done, but you're like waiting on the trading cards to come from somebody because you brought trading cards. Yeah, I've told people before. I've consulted on some kind of. That sounds spooky.
Oh, my bad. That was my door.
I know. I was like, I like it. I mean, but I've consulted on some crowdfunders and had people talking about what they're putting on their first campaign. I'm like, no, book. Get anything you put on there, make it simple, like stickers, logo stickers, or a main character sticker. But T-shirts and hats. Nobody wants a T-shirt of your character when they don't know your character. They put that on your third one after people are like, yeah, I really dig this Cyber Frog character or this Devil Dog character. I want a T-shirt of him. They don't know who they are on your first book, so
exactly.
So
no, yeah,
it's good. I'm going to refresh here because I think I need to. So Cyrus gets swept up onto. Hey, I think that moved. In fact, I know it moved. You're at 7505 now.
Oh, really?
Yes. BAP2 in the chat says it looks great. So you are over 7,500 now.
Oh, shoot. Damn.
Is that bad? Do we need to take it back?
No, it's good.
Oh no, I got another one I gotta pack up.
I know I'm neurotic, but I'm not that neurotic.
I actually had something like that when I was publishing the last book we did. It's like I've got all 19 stories that are going in it. Today's the last reading day. I'm just coasting. And then Damascus Mensmeyer sends in this fantastic story. I'm like, damn it, Damascus, I've got to pay another writer on the last day. So Cyrus is going to be like part of the crew, or he's been brought into the crew because he's going to obviously follow the pirates around.
Well, he was basically he ends up being semi-kidnapped. I'm not going to completely go into it because I don't want to blow it all.
Can we say Shanghai?
But yeah, he does get, and the whole thing is, of course, Cyrus being kind of a naive kind of small town hero mind. Cyrus does not like pirates at all. So, there's going to be some nice fun tension there.
Now, do they does the Hazard fly the Jolly Roger or have it painted on there like the Captain Harlock ship?
No.
Good. Because that's a little too over the top. Because that's the one thing that I've seen with future pirates that does stand the test of time is that skull and crossbones on a black background.
Yeah, I actually wanted to get away from. I didn't want to get so stereotypical with the pirate aspect. I didn't want to. I mean, I think the most we have is like people with bionic limbs and bionic eyes and stuff.
Yeah, for what is the how many 100 years are you going here into the future? A couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you kept it grounded, which is what I like. It's definitely future. You can tell that by, hey, it's a spaceship. But again, like Jay Lee said in the chat, no Buck Rogers coveralls that everybody's wearing.
Amen.
So are you thinking of any other properties, or is Outlaw Night pretty much laser focus and working on the next book and the next book and the next book and not going deep instead of going wide?
Well, I've been Outlaw Nights is going to be my primary focus, but I have been considering a couple of other ideas, and there's one in particular that I'm hoping to possibly launch some kind of a campaign project for, but it's still not completely well defined yet. But I've got something in the works, is what I'm saying.
All right.
And it's not gonna be it's not gonna be a space age story this time. It's gonna be actually more of a prehistoric kind of thing.
Going the other direction.
Yeah.
What's wrong with now? We want what we had, or we want
now
what
sucks.
Oh, yeah, now does suck. I mean, show up in a time machine, take me anywhere but here. I'm game. Now, have you? I know a lot of creators right now are. The one thing that I really love about this whole movement, this crowdfunding movement, whether it's Comicsgate or not Comicsgate, just everybody doing their thing here, is that everybody's kind of building each other up.
Absolutely.
If you're doing a crowdfunding, you can talk to other people who've done it and say, hey, I'm getting ready to do this. Do you recommend this? Or what's the hazard of that? I mean, can you imagine, Stan Lee calling up DC Comics in the early 60s? Hey, we're getting ready to launch this Spider-Man character. You guys going to have a problem with that? You see any issues with it? It's like, DC was like, yeah, we see a huge issue with it. For one thing, we've got a character named Spider-Man already that's in the works. But that doesn't happen with crowdfunding. It's like, oh man, let me tell you, let me help you out here. Yeah, you want to do this, you want to do that. Hey, let me see your drawings. Those look great. You're going to do well on this. That's not business as usual.
That's actually what I was attracted to about this whole movement the most, was it's more art based. Yeah,
I mean, it's like, if a creator's got something out there and he sees somebody else's stuff, he wants you to succeed, because he wants to buy your stuff too. We're fans producing stuff, so we want what the other person's making. We don't want to steal it. We want to buy it because we're collectors. But kind of like the in the original in the Kick-Ass comic books, not the movie, but the end of the original Kick-Ass comic books, when Big Daddy's being burned up. He shows, that he was funding his whole thing by selling comic books, old comic books, because he was a fan. That's how he became a superhero. That's what all we creators here are. We're fans of the comics, of the medium. And
yeah, definitely.
And it's not that anybody. To paraphrase, Ronaldus Magnus, we didn't leave comic books. Comic books left us. So,
yep,
we're starting our own. I say we. Look at me. I just joined the club. I'm making nothing.
Well, I just like the fact that, compared to a lot of other times I've seen in the past when people have a problem with something going on in pop culture, it's like in the past there was always just I was seeing people just complaining, and that's all that they would do is complain. And it's like, now it's like, instead of people just sitting around complaining, it's like, well, okay, well, we're gonna, and you've got a bunch of fans who are dissatisfied, so we're gonna go ahead and create for them. Like, we're gonna create something specifically for them.
Well, in a way,
it's constructive.
into it.
Yeah, it's a constructive use of our time and our energy and our art. You know,
Yeah.
it's instead of just sitting around complaining about what other people aren't doing, we're doing it. You know,
it was all this useless frustration that had no outlet before, other than the complaints. And you know, whether you ascribe to the philosophy or not, it does go back to Richard C. Meyer and his issues publishing, when they said, "Hey, if you don't like the comics, make your own." And you know,
he said, "Okay."
whoever was the person who uttered that advice is the person who basically kicked off this entire snowball of what's going on. And they've got to wake up and be kicking themselves every night if they're not getting on board and buying the comics, which is what they should do.
Oh, they're probably not.
They didn't read comics in the first place, so.
It, you know, all these things are just kind of internet burns, you know.
Yeah.
Just meant to be like, you know, oh, look at me, I'm such a badass to all my followers, you know.
Yep. Look at my keyboard. That's so hyped up on steroids. So, what are your future plans for this? You've mentioned that it's going to go on beyond 6 issues. Is this a really, really long treasure hunt with like stages of adventure in it, or is this like, hey, we found a treasure, now we got another treasure, like, you know, the Pirates of the Caribbean, where, you know, they find everything they're looking for in each movie, but they move on to something else after?
I was thinking like this particular arc was going to focus on this one particular treasure that they're after, because it's not your typical prize, you know. That's about all I could say about it without blowing anything.
It's a data chip, which is going to be like this big, and you got all of space that it could be floating in.
But it's basically, yeah, it's a special. I could say that the thing about that they're after is something that is coveted by a bunch of the nations of Earth, and so it's a freaking rat race, you know.
And I'm guessing that the Hazard is not the only ship out looking for it.
Oh, of course not.
And that's where a lot of your conflict is going to come in.
That's why our good buddy Taurus, who you saw chopping off somebody's arm, he's one of our contenders.
Now, yeah, you mentioned he's going to be like the villain, but I haven't heard you say that that Ivory is a villain, even though he's a pirate.
Yeah, Ivory is sort of an anti-hero.
And that is, if I'm correct, that's him here pouring the drink.
Yep. Oh wait, oh no, I'm sorry. That's Serpent.
Okay. Oh, this
Serpent.
is Ivory here with the eyeball.
Yeah, Ivory is the captain of Hazard, and he is I can tell you, like, the heart of the story is going to revolve around the back and forth between Cyrus and Ivory, because in many ways they are opposites, but they are also kind of similar. So you know how it goes.
Of course, opposites attract. They'll be buddy cops by the end of the. They'll be Starsky and Huggy Bear before the thing's over with.
Ivory is very much kind of I consider Ivory kind of the mascot of the series. He's very much my favorite character. You know, because he's the devil may care wise ass, you know.
Yeah, he's a pirate. Yeah, it comes with the lifestyle. So then who is Serpent here? The bartender? Is they like he's just like the bartender on the ship, like Isaac.
Well, actually, he is not. Actually, he is the second in command of the ship, but he is also known for being a con artist. So that's the thing, is like when we first meet him, he is in disguise, and the idea is he's being a bartender. But yeah, he is very much the con man of the group. He's the snake oil salesman, and he lies very easily, but you'll see that there's going to be issues with Serpent's having personal issues with his career choice. I'll just say that.
I can already see him having like a long game in plan that's going to pop out when we least expect it. It says, thank you for taking me to the chip. I will take it from you now because this is exactly what I intended from day one. Now, are these other characters on the cover here, are they, I'm not going to say are they important because they're there. They're important because they're part of the story. But are they spotlighted as much as your three main characters?
Kodiak, the guy next to Ivory, he's featured a lot. Because he's sort of like the leader of the away team, like attack and defense type of thing. And yeah, he's pretty much like one of the first pirates that Cyrus encounters in this issue. All
right. And Cara Dune here with the Mega Blaster.
Oh, that's Code. She doesn't have a very big role in this issue, but she's going to have a bigger role in the next couple issues.
Cool. So but we get to meet her now, so that's cool. Hey, Piper, good to see you in the chat there. Missed you. Now, a lot of future alien stories, everybody's a human. Sometimes they're green, or sometimes they're gray, or sometimes they got like a stony exterior like this guy here. Is this a sentient person, or does she have a pet?
Oh, she has a pet.
Because
well, actually, no, that's not a pet per se. That's actually just a creature that's randomly featured on Therese. We just wanted to put it on the cover.
It's a pog. Okay. It's a pog. We got it. And the two characters down here in the floating desk.
That is well, the one operating the desk is known as Bit, and he's one of the tech ops on the ship, but he's particularly incompetent because he's relatively new. And, they kind of picked him up out of nowhere, and he's screwing things up a little bit on his first heist.
Okay, so but he's the tech guy. You ever seen the IT Crowd?
What's up?
Have you ever seen the IT Crowd as a television show?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's one of those UK BBC shows. And the very first episode, the lady gets hired to be the IT manager. It's not the job she's interviewing for, but that's the you know how these BBC shows go. The guy in charge of everything is a know-nothing, head in the air kind of thing. He's like, I don't need one of those. I need an IT manager. Tell me about email. And she's like, I've received emails. I've sent emails. Sounds good. Go be the IT manager. So, and then the guy behind him's got a gun. I don't know if he's making sure that he does his job right or if he's
Well, I think he's part of the heist crew there. But he in particular, that's not a specific character.
Okay. Red shirt. Got it.
Exactly.
He's an expendable member of the crew. Now, this obviously is not on, I say obviously not on the ship. Maybe the ship's sitting on the ground ready to take off. I don't know. But where does this beautiful scene happen in your story?
That is actually right in the beginning there. That's the colonial militia responding. They've gotten the alert that pirates have breached the security system and are headed for that gala. And so they're going to respond as quick as they can.
And is this because they think that the chip is there, or is there a clue to the chip? I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if they're like, the next clue is over here, and we piece it all together.
The data file is in that building, and so the pirates have they've breached the outer security of the colony, and they're going to send their team into that building, which of course is hosting an art gala as we speak.
Oh,
so,
of course. Yeah.
as we speak. What am I saying?
As the event takes place, which is why, of course, Jim Gordon's running right in there. You know, I'm sorry. I've been binging Gotham the last couple of days again. As like every
Oh,
guy with a
God.
gun.
I was a
actually
huge
good.
Gotham fan. I was a huge Gotham fan up until like season 4.
Yeah, it went on too long. Well, season 4, yeah. That second Joker, the Jeremiah Joker, did not do anything for me at all.
Yeah, that was useless to me because it's like, why switch him out? He was perfect the way he was before.
The Jerome Joker was fine. The second Joker didn't have didn't even call him Joker, but he didn't have a sense of humor to me.
It was the exact opposite of what you would expect from the Joker.
You know what they did was they took the Jerome was the Jack Nicholson Joker, for all intents and purposes, except
yeah,
further out. And then Jeremiah was like the Dark Knight Returns Joker, the one who's like kind of aloof and wearing the suit, and he even kind of wore the hat the way that they did in the Dark Knight Returns. So
yeah.
And then, of course, there was the
Jesus.
third guy with the Red Hood that could have been the Joker. They had 3 Jokers. They had the 3 Jokers in Gotham. God damn, I missed that. There they all are. No wonder Jeff Johns had the idea. Stole it from Gotham. But yeah, I'm still in season 1. I'm watching it for I love watching the evolution of Penguin and Riddler. Just watching them come up is fascinating to me. Seeing that happen.
Oh, I mean, Penguin was like the best character on that show.
He was, absolutely. And just it's his show, really. I mean, it's focused on Jim Gordon, but the only one who's actually showing growth is Penguin, as he just moves in to take over the mobs. So, looking into the future here. Damn, that's a good group shot.
Oh yeah, that was actually the first page we did.
So, that's just cool. Assuming they get the book in April, just worst case scenario, that's when it ships. When are you looking at the second book?
I'm thinking that I'm gonna launch it sometime toward the end of summer. My big plan was I wanted to launch the second book after we fulfilled the first one because I just don't want to rush too far ahead. Yeah. I want to, because I know I'm brand new to this whole thing, and I want to do it right. I want to lay a good foundation.
I just put like tracking numbers on all those. You should do that anyway on all those shipments that go out. And as soon as you see one hit, launch the next one they've received. Hit that launch button. This picture is very cool. I mean, it's not just the drawing, but the fact he doesn't just have a robotic arm that's welded on there. He's gone ahead and said, while you're there, just go ahead and brass plate my name tag onto me. It doesn't get more badass than that. That's like
that's Wellington. He's a pirate hunter working for the British military.
And I'm never going to wear a shirt because, first of all, it would cover my name tag. And second of all, I'm ripped as fuck. So, make me wear a shirt. I dare you, Corporal or Captain. What's he? He's 1 up, 3 down. I don't know what that is in this ranking structure, but.
I don't think he's a corporal. That's a little high up.
Well, I think he was some kind of a sergeant. I thought a corporal was under a sergeant, but maybe not. I've forgotten. I used to work for the military, and since then, I don't need to know anymore. We got our nice little Stargate kind of. I'm guessing that's what that is a sort of a space folder.
Well, it's more of like that's sort of a security checkpoint for all ships that are entering into Therese. Oh. There's sort of a gravity well that takes them through it.
That's cool. I love the fact that in the far future, Uhura is still getting emojis on the screen. We still communicate with winky faces.
That's actually a virus.
It's a version I've never seen before. Yes, it's because it's from 2005.
That's the secret.
No, it's actually from. It's from 1996. It's the Jeff Goldblum alien virus that he put into Independence Day.
It's the way to be.
Did you see that movie?
Oh God, it's been a long time.
Yeah, IT is my day job, and I remember at the regularly we will get virus alerts from CERN, not the super collider place, but another place, and it's just like just a format thing says new virus, and it's got a format that it follows. So you just kind of you used to just print it out and tack it up on the wall, and you'd say, oh, we got this. Yep, that's how we handle it. Somebody got creative and they put out the alien virus alert, and it was, and the whole thing was to warn the alien ships that Earth technology has, ports that are compatible with our OS.
Oh my God!
And it read like a real virus alert, but it was hilarious because I loved the movie up until that point, and I'm like, yeah. How come the aliens have a USB port on their ship? That makes no sense.
It is universal.
Exactly. It's a universal serial bus. It's not just a terrestrial serial bus. Everybody's got one. But yeah, this I will say this looks exactly like Uhura in Star Trek saying, "Captain."
Well, obviously, yeah, that was literally our artist Render Contender. He's a huge Star Trek fan, and he really wanted to throw in an homage in there. So he literally took a shot of Uhura and drew that character in the exact pose.
It's great because it makes me laugh looking at it. That just seeing that and then this winky face on the screen, you're like, okay, I dig it. And that brings us to the end of the campaign here, really. So, are you prepared to hit 50 pages if you get $10,000 before March?
Well, I mean, I think I put already somewhere in the campaign that I ended up having to increase that to like 14K.
Okay. Yep.
But I mean,
push it further out.
I don't think we're gonna be able to hit 50 this time around, but I'm okay with that because since this is our first comic book, it's like I'm really ready to get this puppy out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've already, since I really just split the script in half because there was actually a good breaking point in the middle there, that lent itself to being able to, you could cut it there and then pick it up again in another issue. So the next issue is going to be the next half of the script and maybe a little bit extra. But I mean, so I've already got all that planned out, and I've pretty much got most of the story outlined up to a certain point right now, and I already know where we're going to be going. So
cool. Now I see here, you've got 140, almost 140 backers. I'm curious when you know how many backers you got, how many copies do you print? What's your overrun estimate? Do you double? Do you say, yeah, give me 10% extra? I mean, you're going to go in demand for a while. You'll want to have some for conventions.
I mean, I was thinking honestly, I would order like about maybe 200.
Okay, that's probably a good cushion.
Just to keep it kind of safe and kind of affordable.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, you can always go into second printing. But
I definitely wanted to have some extras on hand just in case, like something happens. Like because shipping things get broken and all that.
Get broken, yeah. Everybody's shipping media, and I'm like, first class comes with insurance. or priority rather comes with insurance. $50 insurance on everything, you automatic. You don't even have to buy extra insurance. It's just there.
Nice.
And they don't advertise that fact, but it's true. So, $30 comic book, yeah, $50 insurance will be good to have on it. But it's also $7.95 or whatever it is to ship something priority that way. All right, I think we beat the horse to death, Ben. But I don't know what more I can ask about it without getting into like issue 5 or something now. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, let it go, RJ. Just.
Oh no, the worst thing is just the fact that I pretty much have to dance around and be very vague about certain things. So it's like I feel like I'm not actually giving a good answer. Like,
it's a mystery. That's the point. And especially when it's a quest and a treasure hunt, you want to be surprised by the twists and turns. So you can't deliver them up front.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a bunch of different planets? I don't even know if this is Earth we're looking at on this picture here.
Oh, I mean, we're nowhere near Earth, and we're probably not gonna see Earth in this 6 to 8 issue run.
All right. Well, then we've been building some cities on other planets. We've been busy.
Oh yeah.
These are colonies that have been there for a while. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we got one backer added tonight, so glad I was able to help you out a little bit there. When you do launch the second book, please do hit us up. We'll be glad to have you back on, and we'll talk about it earlier in the campaign rather than on the tail end of it here when you don't really need us. you got fun.
Oh hey. No, man, every bit of everything helps, man. I want as many people to see it as possible.
And now our wrench shows up. Heroinberg, you've been out shooting episodes. Oh, man. Heroinberg does a comic book called Heroinberg, which is an all-female superhero squad. And in addition to that, he films live-action episodes of his comic book universe with the women in cosplay playing the villains and heroes. And it's available. Heroinberg, give us a link. Where are we going to find Heroinberg episodes at? Because, let people know where they can go to watch these things, and how they can watch them. I shall wait for a link in the chat so I can throw it up there before we end things up here. But yeah, it's really cool that it's this kind of multimedia convergence. I mean, imagine if you were shooting episodes of Outlaw Nights. And you said, hey, not only do you get the comic, but if you want to find out what happens in between pages 14 and 16, click the link and come over here and watch this 15-minute video.
Well, now I'm jealous.
Oh, I guess Heroinberg left us. I know there's a time delay between here and there. All right, well, if he's gone, thank you for showing up anyway, Heroinberg. And with that, I think we're just going to wrap it up, man. It's been exactly an hour. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate the hell out of it.
Well, glad to do it. Like I said, come back for the next book. Everybody in the chat, glad that you're here. Always happy to have you here. We don't have a show without you. And